Dear viewers, welcome to Chronicles of a Collapsing World. In the annals of time, amidst the hallowed pages of illuminated manuscripts, there lies a tale of a world on the brink of collapse, where the once steadfast continents tremble beneath the weight of ages, and the very earth itself groans with the burden of its own existence. In the days of yore, ancient Cretans, those mighty bastions of stability, stood sentinel over the shifting lands, their granite hearts beating with the rhythm of eons. But now, as the fires of industry rage unchecked, as the hands of mortals grasp greedily at the earth's bounty, these Cretans falter, their foundations weakened by the relentless onslaught of progress. From the depths of the earth's bosom, where once lay dormant the secrets of millennia, there rises a specter of doom, the permafrost, that icy shroud which once held fast the ancient viruses of old, now melts away, unleashing upon the world a plague long thought vanquished. And as the Siberian wastelands crumble into the maw of the abyss, so too does the hope of salvation fade into the twilight. But even as the world burns, as the flames of destruction lick hungrily at the heavens, there are those who dream of a brighter tomorrow. They speak of harnessing the power of the sun itself, of building great machines to pluck the very stars from the firmament and bring them crashing down to earth. Yet, even in their folly, they cannot escape the harsh reality of their own limitations. For in the vast expanse of space, where the void stretches ever onward, there lies naught but emptiness and despair. The solar farms, those monuments to man's hubris, falter beneath the weight of their own ambition, their lofty goals dashed upon the rocks of practicality. And as the satellites drift silently through the void, their mission unfulfilled, so too does the dream of salvation slip through the fingers of those who would grasp it. In the annals of time, a harrowing tale unfolds, penned upon the parchment of history with quill and ink. Behold, a world on the precipice of collapse, its once mighty kingdoms now ensnared in the tendrils of fate's cruel design. In the hallowed halls of governance, whispers of discontent echo like ghostly wails. Federal regulators, custodians of the land's prosperity, stand accused of neglect, their oversight of liquefied natural gas terminals condemned as a gambit against the future. Along the Gulf Coast, where once the waves sang hymns of abundance, now they bear witness to the folly of unchecked greed. The report, a tome of lamentation, tells of climate change's inexorable advance, of communities burdened beneath the weight of pollution's yoke, their cries drowned by the clamor of industry's march. Amidst this tempest of despair, a curious obsession with butter weaves its thread through the fabric of society. From humble origins, it burgeons into an opulent spectacle, a testament to decadence amidst decay. Yet even as butter reigns supreme, the earth beneath trembles with unrest. The dairy herds, once the stalwart guardians of sustenance, now harbor a silent menace. The H5N1 bird flu, a specter of pestilence poised to unleash its wrath. In the annals of our time, it is recorded that the sovereign, King Joseph of House Biden, did appoint a keeper of the livestock who hailed from the Guild of Dairy. This warden, entrusted with the oversight of the land's sustenance, fell into grave disrepute. Dark whispers spread that under his watch, the dreaded pestilence of avian flu had found its way into the very essence of our daily bread, the milk. For many moons, the truth lay buried beneath a shroud of deceit, as certain fiefdoms were spared the trials of scrutiny, their tainted yields hidden from the light. Thus, the people's faith in their guardians waned, and the realm teetered ever closer to despair. As the shadows lengthen and darkness encroaches, the halls of power resound with the clangor of conflict. U.S. President Joe Biden, a figure of authority, prepares to wield the sword of tariffs against a distant adversary. China, a titan across the seas, bears the brunt of his wrath, its strategic sectors targeted for retribution. Yet even as the drums of war beat louder, whispers of dissent stir among the populace, for they know that in the crucible of conflict, all shall suffer. In those days, it was observed by the sage Matt Bruenig, known for his keen insights, that a curious phenomenon transpired in the realm of global commerce, when the Empire of the East, known as China, did not solely engage in the craft of offering wares at humble prices by virtue of their modest recompense, but rather advanced the boundaries of arcane knowledge, specifically in the realms of chariots driven by electric spirits and the mystical arts of the fifth generation of speaking stones. the mighty Kingdom of the United States did cast aside its vaunted principles of free trade. In a twist most ironic, the lords and rulers of the United States, renowned for their proclamations of open markets, donned the armor of protectionism with glee, seeking to shield their dominion from the rising prowess of China. Thus, in the annals of trade, it was recorded as a time when the world, teetering on the brink of upheaval, saw old alliances and principles sundered by the relentless march of progress and competition. In the annals of time, it is recorded that the great powers of the East and the West clashed like titans, their ambitions tearing asunder the fragile bonds of peace. Chinese President Xi Jinping, in his quest for dominance, embarked on a grand tour of Europe, seeking alliances with nations discontented with the yoke of American influence. From the fertile lands of France to the ancient realms of Serbia and Hungary, his diplomatic overtures sowed seeds of discord, fracturing the unity of the European Union and NATO. As the geopolitical stage trembled under the weight of shifting allegiances, Hungary, a land caught between East and West, found itself ensnared in a web of conflicting loyalties. Despite its NATO membership, Hungary forged ever closer ties with the Dragon of the East, embracing pragmatic globalism over the ideological fervor of the West. Yet, even as whispers of dissent echoed through the halls of power, Hungary remained steadfast in its commitment to the Atlantic Alliance, unwilling to forsake its place in the grand tapestry of nations. Amidst the turmoil of nations, Catalonia, a land torn asunder by the flames of separatism, witnessed the rise of new champions and the fall of old adversaries. The Catalan people, emboldened by the promise of a new era, cast their votes in a historic election, dealing a decisive blow to the forces of secession. Yet, even as the specter of independence waned, the scars of past conflicts lingered, threatening to reignite the flames of discord that had once consumed the land. In the distant realm of the Balkans, North Macedonia stood upon the precipice of diplomatic strife, its new leader daring to defy the ancient rivalries that had long divided the region. With a single word, she ignited the ire of neighboring Greece, plunging her fledgling nation into the depths of uncertainty. Yet, amidst the tempest of diplomatic protest, she remained resolute, a beacon of hope amidst the gathering storm. But perhaps nowhere was the darkness more palpable than in the besieged lands of Gaza, where the clash of arms drowned out the cries of the innocent. Egypt, ancient guardian of the Nile, stood in solidarity with the besieged Palestinians, decrying the horrors unleashed by the forces of Israel. Yet, even as the world looked on in horror, the blood-soaked sands bore witness to the relentless march of destruction, leaving naught but death and despair in its wake. In the annals of our time, under the gaze of the Almighty, a tale of sorrow and tribulation unfolds. Over the course of 7 days, as chronicled by the venerable scribes of the United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, it is said that a throng of 300,000 souls hath fled the land of Rafah. The forced and inhumane displacement of the people of Palestine doth persist, casting them adrift with no sanctuary in sight. Verily, there is no place of safety. There is no place of safety. There is no place of safety. On this very day, the plight of families and children returning to the once hallowed halls of learning in Khan Yunis is witnessed. Seeking refuge and shelter, they find their sanctuaries desecrated, classrooms charred, walls rent asunder, and the ground strewn with rubble. This calamity unfolds before the eyes of the world, and yet, the cries for mercy go unheeded. The cycle of suffering endures as the exodus continues unabated. The lords of Israel persist in their edicts of forced displacement, these evacuation orders driving the people of Rafah to scatter to the winds. Since the dawn of this conflict, the denizens of Gaza have wandered ceaselessly, seeking in vain a haven from the storm. On average, they have moved once each month, ever in search of the elusive safety that remains but a phantom. Many find themselves ensconced in bombed-out husks, bereft of choice or comfort. The proclamations of safe zones ring hollow and deceptive. In truth, no place is safe within the bounds of Gaza. Thus is the grim testament of our age. In the land of Jabalia, the heavens roared with fury as the forces of Israel unleashed relentless thunder upon the refugee camp. Amidst this storm of fire and steel, the brave healers and scribes, bearers of light and truth, found themselves besieged. Their sacred duty to tend to the wounded and chronicle the harrowing tales of a world unraveling was met with a cascade of devastation, as the instruments of war fell upon them like the wrath of ancient gods. Thus, in the annals of this darkened age, it was written, a time of great suffering, where even the virtuous were not spared the calamities of the fallen world.
استهداف علينا استهداف علينا استهداف علينا استهداف علينا استهداف الذي وصلنا إليه الآن.
In distant lands, where the Southern Cross guides the weary traveler, Australia's mightiest institutions find themselves ensnared in the web of moral quandary. The guardians of wealth and prosperity, like Cbus, stand at the crossroads of conscience, their coffers filled with the spoils of war. Yet, even as the cries for justice echo through the corridors of power, the shadows of complicity darken their once noble visage. Across the great expanse of the ocean, where the tides of commerce ebb and flow, the merchants of death ply their trade with wanton abandon. Barclays Bank, a titan among financiers, is revealed to be a silent partner in the dance of destruction, its coffers overflowing with the tainted gold of war profiteering. As the cries of the oppressed fall upon deaf ears, the hands that count the coins of avarice remain stained with the blood of innocence. In a moment of fervent madness, Lord Lindsay of House Graham, a noble of the United States, didst propose the most grievous of actions upon Gaza, calling for the unleashing of fiery devastation akin to the wrath of the heavens. This he proclaimed before the eyes of the realm on the great magical mirror of national broadcast, a dire omen recorded in the annals of these dark times, where reason falters and the world teeters on the brink of ruin.
So when we were faced with destruction as a nation after Pearl Harbor, fighting the Germans and the Japanese, we decided to end the war by bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with nuclear weapons. That was the right decision. Give Israel the bombs they need to end the war they can't afford to lose, and work with them to minimize casualties. Well, can I say this? Why is it okay for America to drop 2 nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki to end their existential threat war? Why was it okay for us to do that? I thought it was okay. To Israel, do whatever you have to do to survive as a Jewish state.
Even in the hallowed halls of governance, where the laws of men are writ in stone, the specter of hypocrisy looms large. At RTX's annual gathering, where the titans of industry gather to feast upon the fruits of their labor, the whispers of conscience are drowned out by the clamor of greed. As shareholder resolutions are cast aside like refuse, the voices of the oppressed are silenced by the cacophony of power. In the waning days of the realm, as shadows lengthened over the land, there came a noble commander from the distant and mighty kingdom of the United States, the venerable General Michael Eric Kurilla. He arrived upon the ancient shores of Israel, summoned as the honored guest of the stalwart guardian of the realm, Lieutenant General Hartzi Halevi, Chief of the General Staff. Together, these 2 titans of warfare convened in solemn council, their meeting a beacon of hope amid the encroaching darkness. They engaged in a grave assessment of the dire circumstances besetting their lands, and spoke at length of the strategies and alliances that might yet stave off the advancing tide. With resolve, they vowed to fortify the bonds of fellowship and martial coordination between their armies, seeking strength and unity as the world teetered on the brink of collapse. In the chronicles of our time, penned with quills dipped in the ink of sorrow and despair, lies the lamentations of a world teetering on the brink of collapse. Behold, O reader, the illuminated manuscript that tells the tale of a civilization's downfall. In the annals of a world teetering on the brink, there lived Sana Saeed, a seer of words and critic of the media, who did speak out against Joe Scarborough, the Lord of the Morning Council known as Morning Joe. Saeed did accuse him of whispering falsehoods of the gravest nature, denying the genocide that befell the innocents of Gaza. Lo, the United Nations, keepers of the world's peace, did not have the number of slain women and children, as some did claim. The sacred charts, inscribed with truth, did show both those reported as killed and those whose names were known. In their hubris, the deceivers revealed themselves, for the charts bore no deceit. Yet, in those dark times, defenders of Zionism and the realm of Israel, many of whom were scribes, did seize upon this falsehood. They drew their tales from the Jerusalem Post, a chronicle infamous for its past dishonor, having once declared a martyred child of Palestine to be naught but a plaything. This treachery was both accepted and praised by the order of MSNBC, the guild to which Scarborough belonged. The peril and wickedness of this false narrative could not be overstated, for it spread like a plague. Those who stood with the supporters of genocide wielded it as a weapon, seeking to dismiss every life taken by the hands of Israel. From the first light of conflict, they searched tirelessly for any means, no matter how forged, to deny the bloodshed of the Palestinians. In the court of rulers, discord reigns supreme. The great halls once echoed with the grandeur of power, but now resound with whispers of treachery and upheaval. Mighty leaders, blinded by ambition, turn against their own kin, casting aside loyal subjects for fleeting alliances. The removal of a longtime defender, Shoigu, heralds the beginning of the end, as shadows of doubt shroud the once mighty empire. Across the verdant fields, where golden wheat once swayed in the gentle breeze, now lie barren and desolate. The laborers, whose toil sustained kingdoms, now march in protest, their tractors becoming chariots of defiance. War and pestilence ravage the land, driving farmers to desperation as crops wither and yields dwindle. The once fertile earth groans under the weight of neglect and strife. In the bustling markets, where commerce once flourished, now reigns scarcity and want. The coffers once brimming with wealth now lie empty, drained by the insatiable appetite of greed and folly. Prices soar to unfathomable heights, while the poor languish in the shadows of opulence. Food, once abundant, becomes a luxury reserved for the privileged few, as hunger stalks the streets like a silent specter. Yet, amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope still shines. In the sanctuaries of faith, where prayers rise like incense to the heavens, the faithful gather to seek solace in troubled times. The walls, adorned with the tales of ancient wisdom, offer refuge to the weary and downtrodden. For in the hearts of men, the flame of resilience burns bright, casting aside despair and embracing the promise of redemption. In the annals of our age, a tale of tumult and woe unfolds, as penned in the illuminated manuscripts of yore. Across vast lands and distant shores, the fabric of civilization frays, and the once grand tapestry of society begins to unravel. In the annals of our troubled times, it is written of a healer from the besieged land of Gaza. This noble surgeon, burdened by the weight of his calling, unveiled a portrait of those who, in dark and secret forges, crafted infernal machines, quadcopters armed with the devil's own precision, a sniper's touch. On a moonless night, under the pall of strife, these accursed contraptions descended like harbingers of doom upon the weary souls seeking refuge within the sanctum of Ali, the hospital. The surgeon and his steadfast companions labored tirelessly, their hands stained with the blood of 30 innocent lives, each a testament to the cruelty unleashed by these airborne reapers. Amidst the wails and lamentations, a grievous sight. A child of but 9 summers, struck in the tender neck, his life's blood pouring forth in the healer's hall. The boy's light dimmed, his final breaths echoing as a dirge for a world teetering on the edge of oblivion. Yet, the architects of such sorrow, unscathed and unrepentant, wander freely across the lands of Europe. The gates of Germania remain open to them, as if the cries from Gaza had not reached the ears of those who hold the power to banish such malevolence. Thus, the Chronicles bear witness to an age where mercy and justice seem but distant memories, lost in the chasm of our collapse. In the realm of the air, where mighty birds of metal once soared, now lies brokenness and sorrow. The grand B-2 bomber, pride of the skies, is laid low by misfortune and fire. Its wings, once symbols of power and supremacy, now bear the scars of tragedy. No longer shall it take flight, for its fate is sealed by the judgment of those who wield authority over such matters. And as one falls, so too does the strength of a nation's defenses falter, leaving it vulnerable and exposed to the whims of fate. But it is not only in the heavens that despair takes root, for even the distant lands of Mars feel the weight of uncertainty and strife. Amidst the red sands and ancient ruins, the dreams of exploration turn to ashes. plans to retrieve the very stones of Mars to unlock the secrets of distant worlds, are mired in doubt and discord. As great minds clash over the means to achieve lofty goals, the path forward grows ever more treacherous. Will the light of discovery pierce the shadows of doubt, or shall the ambition of mankind be swallowed by the abyss of uncertainty? In the annals of our age, there lies a somber passage, chronicling the folly of those who dwell in the high halls of power. Amidst the dire tumult of the Ukrainian realm, a minstrel of the green faith did proclaim a lamentation most grave. He spoke of the jest that is the survivability of a cataclysm wrought by fire and shadow, a jest birthed in these dark times. 'Tis whispered among the councils of both the progressive and the traditional, their hearts aflame with a desire to smite the land of Russia with the wrath of the heavens. Yet, in their hubris, they ken well the return of such fury upon their own dominions. Thus, they weave a tapestry of delusion, believing themselves beyond the reach of the very doom they would unleash. So is written the folly of men, who in their quest for dominion forsake reason and court the abyss. In the realm of diplomacy, where nations once stood hand in hand, now echoes the bitter refrain of discord and division. From the golden shores of Colombia to the verdant hills of Ecuador, the ties that bind nations together strain and groan under the weight of mistrust and betrayal. Where once there was camaraderie and cooperation, now lies bitterness and recrimination. Diplomats, once heralds of peace and understanding, now find themselves entangled in the thorny vines of politics and intrigue. And as alliances fracture and crumble, the world watches with bated breath, wondering what new calamities shall emerge from the crucible of discord. Yet amidst the chaos and turmoil, there remains a glimmer of hope, a faint beacon of light in the gathering darkness. For even as the pillars of civilization tremble, the hearts of men and women beat on, resilient and unyielding. In the face of adversity, they stand tall, united in their determination to forge a brighter future from the ashes of the past. And though the road ahead may be fraught with peril and uncertainty, they march ever onward, guided by the flickering flame of hope that burns within each and every soul. In the year of our Lord, amidst the waning light of prosperity, there arose a shadow upon the lands, casting despair upon the hearts of men. Behold, the tale of a world teetering on the precipice of collapse, chronicled in illuminated manuscript, reveals the harrowing chronicles of its demise. In the northern realms, once praised for their resilience amidst the tempest of economic tumult, now lay Canada, a land ensnared in the snares of stagnation. Once lauded for its economic prowess during the trials of yore, it now stands as a testament to the perils of complacency. The pages of financial tomes reveal a lamentable decline as per capita GDP growth wanes, tethered to the earth by the weight of missed opportunities and the shackles of reliance upon fading industries. The specter of a faltering digital economy casts its pall upon the land, whilst the clarion call of technological advancement echoes unanswered across barren landscapes. Even the grand edifices of commerce, such as Shopify, find themselves besieged by the tides of misfortune, their once lofty heights now obscured by the shadows of uncertainty. A nation, once a beacon of prosperity, now finds itself adrift amidst the wreckage of broken dreams. In the bustling cities of the New World, the foundations of commerce quake beneath the weight of uncertainty. Behold, the Metropolitan Pavilion in Manhattan, once a bastion of prosperity, now a harbinger of doom. Within its hallowed halls, whispers of impending collapse permeate the air, as the lords of commerce lament the folly of their hubris. The halls once resplendent with the clangor of commerce now echo with the dirge of despair, as the denizens of finance stare into the abyss of insolvency. The edifices of commerce, once symbols of prosperity, now stand as monuments to folly, their once proud facades crumbling beneath the weight of unsustainable debt. As the specter of higher interest rates looms large, the markets tremble, their once stalwart foundations shaken to their core. A world once awash in prosperity now finds itself adrift amidst a sea of uncertainty, its once proud cities now ensnared in the tendrils of economic decay. Amidst the halls of power, the princes of politics wage war upon the very fabric of society. Behold, President Biden and his cohorts, champions of a cause now besieged by dissent. In their quest to champion the rights of the oppressed, they unwittingly sow the seeds of discord. Their efforts to restore balance to a fractured world only serving to deepen its divisions. Across the land, the fires of political strife burn bright as rival factions vie for control of the future. The battlegrounds of democracy now lay strewn with the wreckage of broken promises as the forces of change collide amidst the chaos of uncertainty. In their quest for power, they unknowingly hasten the demise of all they seek to protect. Their efforts to champion the cause of justice only serving to hasten the world's descent into darkness. In the annals of time, there existed a world veiled in opulence and grandeur, where the powerful reigned with iron fists clad in silken gloves. This world, once adorned with the jewels of democracy and freedom, now finds itself ensnared in the fetters of tyranny and deceit. In the Chronicles of our age, the Met Gala, a grand spectacle where stars paraded in resplendent attire, bore witness to a silent protest. Pro-Palestinian voices, echoing in the shadows of extravagance, sought to pierce the veil of indifference that shrouded the elite. Yet, their cries were drowned amidst the clamor of vanity and excess. The digital realm, once a bastion of free expression, now became a battlefield where the weapon of silence was wielded by the masses against their erstwhile idols. Amidst this cacophony of discontent, the halls of justice resounded with the echoes of a trial. A former ruler, Donald Trump, stood accused, yet the scales of justice seemed tipped by the weight of power. The court, a theater of manipulation, witnessed the machinations of prosecutors who gambled not on evidence, but on the blind fury of a populace scorned. The truth, obscured by the fog of deception, lay buried beneath layers of falsehood and intrigue. In the midst of this turmoil, a lone voice rose from the ashes of obscurity. Winston Marshall, erstwhile bard of a famed troupe, now found solace in the realm of discourse. With words as his sword and truth as his shield, he dared to challenge the very fabric of society. Populism, once vilified as the harbinger of chaos, now found redemption in his words. Yet, even as he spoke, the shadows of censorship loomed large, threatening to snuff out the flickering flames of dissent. As the pages of history turned, the corridors of power trembled beneath the weight of their own hubris. The Democratic National Convention, a bastion of hope in a sea of despair, now stood divided. Its leaders, blinded by ambition, sought refuge in the sanctuary of silence, forsaking the very principles they once vowed to uphold. The people, disillusioned and disenfranchised, watched in silent horror as their voices were drowned amidst the tumult of deceit and betrayal. In the twilight of this age, the specter of tyranny looms large, casting its shadow over a world on the brink of collapse. Yet, amidst the chaos and despair, there remains a glimmer of hope. For in the hearts of the oppressed, the flames of resistance burn bright, illuminating the path towards a future untainted by the shackles of tyranny. And though the road ahead may be fraught with peril, the spirit of defiance shall endure. For as long as there are those who dare to speak truth to power, the light of freedom shall never be extinguished. In a world once adorned with the gleam of enlightenment, where universities were bastions of wisdom and communities thrived amidst the pursuit of knowledge, now lies a realm veiled in shadows, torn asunder by discord and strife. In the annals of time, it is chronicled that a great tumult befell the venerable institutions of learning, where the halls of Harvard echoed not with the solemn discourse of scholars, but with the clamor of protest. The once illustrious alma mater of Kenneth Griffin, a patron of prosperity, found itself ensnared in the throes of ideological upheaval. Griffin, in his wisdom, beseeched his alma mater to revere the sacred tenets of Western values, urging Harvard to reclaim its mantle as a beacon of meritocracy and truth. Yet, amidst the cacophony of dissent, his voice was but a whisper in the tempest of unrest. Across the rivers in the ancient streets of Cambridge, Trinity College stood as a testament to tradition and opulence. Yet, even within its hallowed walls, the specter of discord loomed large. The Council of Trinity, swayed by the currents of activism, decreed to sever its ties with the merchants of war, divesting from the very sinews that bound nations in conflict. And yet, this act of defiance only stoked the flames of controversy, inviting the ire of statesmen and scholars alike. In the bustling metropolis of New York, Columbia University bore witness to a symphony of dissent, as faculty and staff rose in rebellion against the specter of authority. The echoes of their defiance reverberated through the halls of academia as they pledged to withhold their labors until the guardians of law and order were banished from their midst. And yet, in their quest for justice, they found themselves ensnared in a labyrinth of mistrust and recrimination. Amidst this turmoil, the scourge of conflict raged unabated, casting its shadow over lands both near and far. From the embattled streets of Gaza to the ivory towers of academia, the seeds of discord took root, sowing chaos and despair in their wake. And as the flames of discontent spread, consuming all in their path, the world stood on the precipice of annihilation, teetering on the brink of a descent into darkness. In the annals of this tumultuous age, it was recorded that the learned scholars of the esteemed Duke University didst rise and depart from the grand convocation. This departure was said to have been instigated by the presence of the jester Jerry Seinfeld, a man of the Jewish faith. Yet, wise Fred Gutenberg, chronicler of events, proclaimed this to be the cause of their unrest. However, voices from the multitude contended his words, declaring the true cause to be rooted not in faith, but in fervent opposition to Seinfeld's staunch support of the Zionist cause. These scholars decried his penchant for partaking in the mimicry of the harsh subjugation of the Palestinian people, viewing such acts as grievous transgressions. Thus, in these dark times of discord and upheaval, the truth of the matter lay shrouded in the mists of contention. In the annals of time, there existed a realm embroiled in turmoil, a tapestry woven with threads of discord and despair. In this age of unrest, the fates of men and nations intertwined, leading to the unraveling of the world as it once was known. In the sacred city of Philadelphia, nestled amidst the verdant hills, voices of dissent rose like flames against the encroaching darkness. From the humble abodes of the workers to the hallowed halls of academia, a fervent cry echoed through the streets, echoing the plight of the oppressed. The encampment for Gaza stood as a testament to the struggle against tyranny, its banners unfurled in defiance, bearing witness to the atrocities wrought upon distant shores. As the sun cast its golden rays upon the city of Denver, shadows of unrest danced upon the walls of learning. Students, clad in robes of rebellion, stood firm against the tides of oppression, their voices raised in unison against the ravages of war. Yet, even as they emerged from the halls of detainment, their victory remained but a fleeting illusion, overshadowed by the specter of uncertainty that loomed over the horizon. And in the heartland of Kansas, where fields of grain stretched as far as the eye could see, a new age of surveillance dawned. Eyes of metal and glass gazed upon the land, their vigilance a grim reminder of the price of safety. Yet, in their pursuit of security, the guardians of the realm unwittingly forged chains of bondage, binding themselves to the whims of fate. Thus, in this tale of woe and wonder, the world stood on the precipice of collapse, its fate hanging in the balance. For in the end, it was not the swords of kings nor the armies of nations that sealed its doom, but the folly of men blinded by their own hubris. And so, the pages of history turned, bearing witness to the twilight of an age and the dawn of a new era fraught with uncertainty and despair. In the days of yore, when the sun danced upon the pages of history, there existed a realm fraught with peril and uncertainty. Behold, the saga unfolds, woven upon the tapestry of time, of a world teetering upon the brink of collapse. In the annals of yesteryears, there stood a land known as Florida, ruled by Governor Ron DeSantis, whose decree heralded a tumultuous era. With a stroke of his quill, he unraveled the ancient laws that guarded the construction of sanctuaries for the infirm, unleashing a tempest of hospital-building frenzy. 65 new citadels of healing were ordained, heralding a 20% surge in the number of sanctuaries within the realm. Yet, as the edifices rose like monuments to prosperity, the undercurrent of unrest swirled beneath the surface. Across distant lands, such as Ohio and Massachusetts, echoes of this upheaval reverberated. The sanctuaries of healing burgeoned, their spires piercing the heavens. Yet, within their hallowed halls, shadows lurked. The specter of commodification loomed, transforming the sacred art of healing into a marketplace of competition and profit. The scribes of the Niconsson Center spoke of this metamorphosis, where the pursuit of mammon eclipsed the sacred oath to alleviate suffering. Amidst this cacophony, the plight of healers emerged from the shadows. Once revered as custodians of wellness, they found themselves ensnared in the web of bureaucracy, shackled by the chains of corporate servitude. No longer did they chart the course of healing unencumbered. Instead, they treaded upon the labyrinthine paths dictated by faceless entities driven by fiscal pursuits. In their desperation, some sought refuge in the sanctum of solidarity, banding together to defy the yoke of oppression. The banners of unionization unfurled, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Yet, their struggle mirrored the very turmoil that besieged the realm, a battle against forces that sought to erode their autonomy and dignity. As the specter of consolidation loomed large, the land trembled beneath its weight. The halls of healing became bastions of monopoly, where the pursuit of profit trumped the sanctity of life. Mergers and acquisitions proliferated like tendrils of a voracious beast, devouring the essence of compassion and community. In the chambers of justice, a clash of titans unfolded. The lords of commerce, epitomized by the mighty apple, clashed swords with the guardians of antitrust, their skirmish shaking the very foundations of the realm. Yet, amidst the chaos, a flicker of defiance ignited, a judge's stern rebuke echoing through the corridors of power, challenging the hubris of the monopolists. Thus, the chronicles of a collapsing world were etched upon the pages of time, a testament to the folly of greed and the resilience of the human spirit. As the shadows lengthened and the pillars of society trembled, the fate of the realm hung in the balance, awaiting the clarion call of heroes yet unborn. In the annals of time, a tale unfolds, woven from the threads of epics past and present, illuminated upon the parchment of destiny. Behold, the chronicle of a world teetering upon the precipice of collapse, its once proud civilizations faltering beneath the weight of their own ambitions and follies. In the age of the great upheaval, marked by the turn of the 21st century, the denizens of Earth found themselves ensnared in a web of economic disparity and societal discord. The young progeny of Generation Z, heirs to a legacy of dwindling prosperity, toil beneath the burdensome yoke of financial hardship. A study, unveiled by the venerable scribes of TransUnion, revealed a harrowing truth. The youth of today, burdened by debts that outweigh their meager earnings, fare far worse than their forebears of a bygone era. Amidst the clamor of inflation and rising living costs, the dreams of a generation languish in the shadow of economic disparity, their confidence waning as the specter of uncertainty looms large. Yet, as the stars above bear witness, mankind gazes skyward in search of salvation amidst the chaos below. A new dawn heralds the age of celestial ambition, as intrepid explorers set their sights upon the heavens themselves. Embarking upon voyages beyond the reaches of terrestrial bounds, they seek to plunder the celestial vaults for treasures untold. A satellite, scarcely larger than a humble hearthstone, ventures forth into the cosmic expanse, heralding the birth of a new era of space exploration. The promise of riches beyond measure beckons, as asteroid miners ply their trade amidst the stars, harvesting the bounty of distant worlds to sate the insatiable hunger of a civilization in decline. Yet, even amidst the celestial expanse, the echoes of discord resonate. Nations vie for dominion over the lunar domain, staking their claims upon the desolate plains of a celestial frontier. Ambitions clash amidst the void, as the great powers of Earth seek to carve out their destinies amongst the stars. The echoes of past glories reverberate across the cosmos, as mankind grapples with the eternal question of its own existence amidst the vast expanse of the universe. As the pages of history turn, the specter of decline casts its long shadow upon the world below. The once proud empires of mankind falter beneath the weight of their own hubris, their grandeur crumbling amidst the sands of time. The birth pangs of a new era echo through the corridors of fate as the world teeters upon the brink of oblivion. Yet, amidst the chaos and turmoil, a flicker of hope remains. For in the hearts of men and women, amidst the ashes of a dying world, the flame of resilience burns bright. Though the road ahead may be fraught with peril, the indomitable spirit of humanity endures, a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. Thus, let this tale be etched upon the annals of time, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit amidst the trials of an age in tumult. For even as the world trembles upon the precipice of collapse, the echoes of hope resound throughout the ages, guiding mankind towards a brighter tomorrow. Dear viewers, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you at the next video.